Hello viewers, welcome to Gods and Kings. I am going to go straight into a game. I'm not going to talk much about the changes. I'm going to talk about them as I go. So I'm going to go with domains first and my standard settings for online games, since I want to keep the games as quick as possible. So domains are probably one of the best new civs in the expansion. I've been playing so long now, the Gods and Kings, that I forgot most of the stuff from the old game. So I would be terrible for pointing out differences. I'm just going to talk about stuff. So the domains have three very interesting abilities. One is the Atlantist, which is a super early archer, available immediately at the start of the game. It has the same strengths and cost and so on as the regular archer. And he has a shrine replacement building. Shrine is a new building that generates faith, available at pottery, and it gives 1 faith per turn. And the pyramid replaces that and gives you 2 faith and 2 science, so it's a great building to have. And their unique ability is the long count, which when you discover theology, you get a new calendar, so it's not, I don't know, 3000 BC anymore. It's now the main calendar, and at the end of each calendar or long count, you get a great person of your choice, and you can choose every great person only once. So your aim is probably as the mains to get to theology as soon as you can. I usually do that by going for the great library. Even if I don't get it, I will use that money for something else, and if I do, it's great because I can get to theology quite quickly. So yeah, I'm just going to scout out a bit with my warrior, because I want to be able to make a good city, a city on a good city spot. Let me see, either move to this hill, no, this hill up there. Okay, so we have 2 cattle, pearls and gems, and some forests around. So it's not a super great city spot, but it will do, I guess. I'll just now the city. Oh, we have some rivers too. Okay, not terrible. So as you can there are 2 new big things in the expansion. One is the religion, and the other is espionage. Religion starts immediately at the start of the game. Espionage starts in Renaissance. When you get to Renaissance, you get a new button up here for espionage. But as you can see, my palace is not generating any faith, unlike all the other types of yields. So in order to get faith, you either need to find a religious city-state, which gives you some faith. It's a new city-state type. Or you need to generate faith from your buildings and so on. So to found the first pantheon, which is the first step of founding a proper religion, you need to accumulate 6 faith on quick speed, and the cost goes up for every other civ that already found a pantheon. The extra cost is 4. So if 2 other civs founded a pantheon already, this cost would go up to 14 faith for your own. So I'm going to play this game as the mans do, which is go pottery first, to be able to build a pyramid, and then I'll go to animal husbandry, because those are my 2 tiles that I can work, and maybe I'll get some horses too. And then I'll go to mining, so I can improve these gems. And after that I'm going to go with writing, so I can try to get the great library. And I'll see from there, either I go for an attempted slingshot to National College with the great library, or I'll just pick drama and poetry. Anyway, the first unit I'm going to build is a scout, since this is a small map. Yep, I'm going to go with 1 scout, and once the pottery is done, I'm going to switch immediately to build a pyramid, which will give me 2 faith and 2 science. Obviously the pyramid is a great building to have, especially if you go wide. 13 culture. Huh. Let me see how many good city spots I have. Well, this is a small map, so I'll probably go with tradition. The social policy tree is changed, but I'm not sure. I forgot how, honestly. I know some stuff and I'll talk about it as I go. Tradition changed in a way that legalism now provides a free culture building in your 4 cities, and it doesn't get messed up if you don't have the tech or if you already built a culture building. So it remembers that you already had, for example, a monument before you chose legalism, and if you don't have drama, which is the requirement for the new amphitheater, it will just grant you an amphitheater once you get the drama. So it's not wasted on any of your cities. It will simply provide the next building you can get. And the finisher now provides a free aqueduct in your first cities and 15% growth bonus in all your cities. I mean in your 4 cities. So it's a great way to save up some hammers. And there is some civ up there, I think. It seems pretty close too. Let's see. Yep, it's Washington. He's really, really close. So I need to grab this city spot right here quickly. I'm going to go with an athletics second, since I can build it early. I'll use it. Well, you can probably use it for early aggression, but I tend to use it for defense mostly. Oh, there are the Arabs too, on turn 5, so they must be close as well. Washington is probably between us two. And now that I got pottery, I'm going to switch to pyramid immediately. Okay. So I can see another city right here, perhaps, or in this area somewhere. 2 pearls, 1 fish available. And there's the first barb camp. As you can see, I'm generating 0 faith for now. And I'm going to go with legalism next, because it will give you a free monument. And immediately after that I'm going to probably pick the bonus for... Oh, we have sources. Great. Natural Wonder, one of the old ones. Okay, new thing in the diplomacy. Embassies, which are available at writing, so that means that Harun already got to writing, and he's offering me 25 gold for me to accept his embassy. What the embassy does is it provides line of sight to my capital. Well, not exactly line of sight, it just reveals my capital. So he can see which wonders I built, how much population I have in that capital, and so on. And it also enables advanced diplomacy features like research agreements. Well, there are some other requirements for that too, but... Okay, so my scout turned into an athletist, which is good. And I think I'll just build another scout now, followed by a athletist. There we go. And I found Lisbon, a city-state. I'm just going to scout a bit and then return home with this guy. And now I accumulated 6 faith, which means I'm the first one in the world to found a pantheon, which means there aren't many religiously based civs in the game, which is good. So I get this button right here, and now I can choose a pantheon. And pantheons are basically early religions which focus mostly on your, well, they focus mostly on the terrain, the surrounding terrain you have. They can be divided, the effects of pantheons can be divided into, I guess, 4 types. And once you found a pantheon, it will be immediately available in all your cities. So it's not like religion, you don't need to spread it, it's just there. And the effects are, well, limited, let's say. So the first type of pantheon effect is culture. You can get culture from shrines, from wine and incense, pastures, jungle tiles, gold and silver. So there are a lot of ways to gain culture. And, well, the more tile types you have, the better that pantheon gets. So if you have plenty of pastures around you, or going to have plenty of them, you just pick God of the Open Sky and you'll get 1 culture from every worked pasture. Then there is faith generation, which can be from quarries, from desert tiles, tundra tiles, and so on. So that's the second thing you can get from pantheons, a lot of faith. And the third type is happiness. You can get happiness from population with cities of population 6 or more, or from cities on rivers and so on. And the fourth type is, well, everything else, like healing in when adjacent to cities with a pantheon, or 10% faster growth rate, or production from cities with population 3 or more. So all the other stuff. And basically when you found a pantheon, it's best that you pick a pantheon which will serve you best. And by that I mean look at your terrain and see which type of pantheon will benefit you most. In my case, I guess the best thing to pick would be one, well, culture from pasture. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5, 6 pastures in my surroundings, so I guess I'll go with that. It's really up to you. I mean, it also depends on your playstyle. If you're trying to go with really large cities, I guess fertility rights, which give you 10% faster growth rate, is a really good way to go. But in my case, my capital is not on the river, so growth for me is going to be, well, tricky. So I think I'll just go with the culture. And there we go. Now I found the pantheon. And now my faith score reset to 0, from 6 to 0. And now I need 134 faith, at least, that much, to get a great prophet. And with a great prophet, which is a great person, you can found a religion. The required faith is not exactly 134, it can be more, but it's a random chance. Once you get to that point, it's randomly determined whether you get a great person on the turn or no. But it's around 140, I would say, the required amount of faith that you will need to get a great prophet, in my case. It also scales on map, not on map size, but on gameplay speed. So, okay, there we go. Now I'll return this guy back and go with my scout. There we go. And I'm not going to go with an athletist, I'm going to go with a worker instead. There we go, because I will return this guy back. Three turns to writing. And now I'm going to choose aristocracy next, because I want to start working on the Great Library as soon as possible. Obviously Haroun might beat me to it. Let me see. Washington doesn't have it yet. Haroun does. And I'm going to give him 25 gold for the embassy, so I can see when or whether he builds the Great Library. I hope not. Anyway, time to switch to production mode. There we go. Let me see how they go with policies. Tradition, honor. So Washington is gearing up for some wars. That's good to keep in mind. One of the things that changed is the way hit points work for units, so I'm going to talk about that when I actually get to combat. And now let me see. The next step would be... Huh. I don't need sailing yet, I'm going to grab the pearls later. I'm going to go with calendar next. So if I can get the Great Library I can slingshot immediately to philosophy. There we go. Having the early archer is very handy. Wow, but Washington is aggressive about it too, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that encampment as soon as I can. Wow, he is really aggressive about that camp. But I'm going to grab it next. There we go, the plumes go into my pocket. And now the worker is done, time to switch immediately to the Great Library. And I'm going to speed it up by chopping down that forest. Oh! He killed the barb, so he's getting a lot of culture. And it seems that Mecha didn't start on the Great Library. I'm not sure actually if you can see it. But anyway, I'm going to now go switch to drama and poetry because I want to get to theology as soon as I can. And there's Kathy. Hello, Kathy. -1. Well, I think I can survive until I build the Great Library with this type of production. Well, Washington has some nice city spots right there. I guess I'll have to take him out at one point. And he has all the luxuries I don't have too, so your plans will make a fine addition to my own. There we go. And next I'm going to take landed elite, which gives me 2 food in my capital, so I can actually continue this. And I'm going to sell my luxury to, well, Washington first, if he will give me 200 for it, which he won't. So I'm going to turn to Haroon. There we go. So I can get my first settler out soon, if need be, because I would probably want to grab these horses and the sugar and just probably plant my city right there and my second city somewhere around here. Yep. I'll try to get it as soon as I can. Okay, let's see. Oh, I got the Great Library. Fantastic. Immediately going to pick philosophy. There we go. I got the library. I have pyramid, which gives me 2 science, library, 1 science per person, 3 science for Great Library, and I'm suddenly on 12 science. And I'm going to go immediately for the Great College. and at the same time I'm going to buy a settler in 2 turns and just plant it right here. Oh, I'm going to sell these forces too, and I'm going to sell them to Washington. There we go. At least something good from that all stuff. And going with the settler. There we go. Let me see how the social policies are standing around under 2 points. Okay. So after getting National College, I'll just switch to some military unit production. I need to scout out some more. So there is a new national wonder. I mean natural wonder, which gives you faith. Let me see. Next stop is theology. 14 turns, thanks to the Great Library. And now I can finally... I need to wait for 5 more turns before I can actually plan the city. Lhasa. It's a new type of city-state. It's a religious one, and it just gave me 4 faith for finding it. Come on! There we go. And as you can see, I'm now getting 1 culture from this pasture, so it speeds up stuff a bit. 1 more turn for the National College. And my my science is 25. Ah. Okay. There we go. Ah, it's a camp. First building, of course, a pyramid. And now I'm going to switch to some military unit production. I don't want to be caught with my pants down. And 1 more. Kathy, are you worth it? I guess so. She is not going to be a threat anyway at any point in time. So, I got to theology and it was rather quick, and as you can see, I now have a new type of calendar. It's 1480 BC in the rest of the world. So now every long count I'm going to get a new great person. So that's great. And I'm also in the medieval era now, which is also great. So what I need to do now is just simply decide what techs I actually need to advance from here. I probably could have built this city right here to grab this citrus, but I'm going to grab Washington at some point anyway, so I'll have citrus. And he can plant a city... Can he? He can plant a city right here to grab these citrus tiles. So if he does that, I'll just take that city too. And just to be sure, I'm going to purchase these tiles right here, so I'm sure that I'll grab all the relevant tiles now in the next turn. So even if he plants a city here, he'll just grab the luxuries. And now that I have 4 units, which I think is enough for now, I'm just going to decide what to do next. And I'm going to do that in the next video. So stay tuned.